majestic David, the suffering Laocoon, and the silent thinker, all are embodiments in stone of the human imagination. Mankind has cultivated a passion for framing moments of transient and impassioned emotion in stone. The sculpture Pieta by the great artist Michelangelo sits at the entrance to St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. It's a depiction of the Virgin Mary holding the dead Jesus in her arms. Her face expresses absolute calm and deep sorrow. Like many other Western sculptures, Pieta communicates artistic beauty in an intimate manner that commands a sense of respect. Chinese sculptors, being more introverted than their Western counterparts, chose not to fetch rock for carving. Instead, they preferred to enshrine their gods in grottos, in secluded mountains where pilgrims could visit them. At the time of the Northern Wei dynasty in the 5th and 6th centuries, Wuzhou Mountain in Shanxi province was heavily guarded. Emperors would visit the area and, facing north, the direction from where their ancestors had come, pray for good luck and for the country's safety. Wuzhou's highest peak is called Yungang, meaning Cloud Ridge. On this peak, skilled craftsmen carved 45 grottos. This group of vast grottos extends for about a kilometer and brings to the region a sense of grandeur, serenity, and mystery. Statues of the Buddha sit high in these grottos, surveying life in the mortal world below. In the year 460, at the time of the Northern Wei dynasty, a man appeared one day on Wuzhou Mountain. He wore a contented smile as he surveyed from above the passing travelers, caravans, and soldiers. This man was Tan Yao, a renowned monk of his day. The rulers of Northern Wei were the Shanbei people, and their conquests had won them control over China's central plain. However, compared to the people they had subjugated, they felt inferior culturally. So they decided on a great project to prove themselves worthy rulers of the land they had conquered. This great project was placed into the hands of Tan Yao, a man whose name is barely even recorded in history. The great project was the Yungang Gottoes and would take 64 years to complete. It would receive funding and protection from succeeding dynasties. For Tan Yao and the pious men who followed in his footsteps, it was their life's work. Yet little mention of them has been recorded in history.
永港石窟和中国东皇的莫高窟，龙门的洛阳的龙门石窟，号称三大石窟。这三大石窟呢，既有相同之处，也有不同之处。一个永港石窟是由北魏王朝皇家开凿的石窟。再一个特点呢，永港石窟它保存了中国早期佛教艺术的样式，这种样式就是我刚才说到的犍陀罗样式，是一种集中的表现。应该说，在中国佛教艺术发展史上，占有举足轻重的地位。
Grotto number 5 is the largest of the Yungang Grottoes. It's 25 meters high, equivalent to a 9-story building. It reveals itself in its full grandeur when seen from below. The apsaras carved on the ceiling are so lifelike that it seems that at any moment they will fly down and greet the visitors. Its ceiling gives the impression of a depiction of the entire planetary system. The ceiling, being domed, not only avoids the sense of repression created by a flat ceiling, but also makes good use of the principles of construction mechanics. The top of the grotto has to bear the weight of the mountain, so it had to be made solid before the rest of the project could be completed and proceed. In fact, collapses did happen initially, much to Tan Yao's frustration. Eventually, he received inspiration and found a unique solution to the problem. Prior to their arrival on China's central plain, the Xianbei people had lived in tents. It was these tents that were Tan Yao's inspiration. Based on their design, he came up with the domed ceiling. It was called a thatched roof because of the grass used to make it, which added an element of simple and natural beauty. A piece of rectangular paperboard is taken and folded at its two ends to form right angles. It's then arranged between two building blocks. A coin is placed on top and it trembles. 2 coins and it collapses. The first rectangular paperboard is replaced with another piece. This time, before arranging it between the building blocks, it's pressed from its 2 sides so that it protrudes slightly in the middle. If 1 coin is placed on top, it remains stable. 2 coins and it does not collapse. Another one, it's still all right. Four coins, and yes, it finally collapses. The 2 experiments show that a domed roof can bear more weight than a flat one. A flat roof disperses any weight on it first to all its corners, then directly to the ground. Since the weight is focused on the corners, it collapses the moment the weight exceeds its ability to support it. But a domed roof disperses the weight in all directions and sends it down to the ground through the walls. The weight on a domed roof rests on the whole slant without any focus before being relayed to the ground. So, the domed roof, because it offered maximum support, allowed the grotto project to proceed safely. Tan Yao was responsible for 5 grottos, and the introduction of the domed ceiling in them was a great success. The grand domed ceiling in grotto number 3 survives as an object of admiration even until today. The domed ceiling could not on its own eliminate all possibility of collapse. So the designers had to seek additional solutions. The first thing visitors to Grotto number 6 notice is a pagoda reaching up to the ceiling. Square in shape, the pagoda measures 15 meters in height and consists of 2 tiers. The first tier is 10 meters high and the second 5 meters. The 4 corners each have upturned eaves and their own small 9-tier pagoda. The first tier of the main pagoda incorporates statues of the Buddha. Carved in high relief, they provide a powerful cubic effect. The second tier houses statues of a standing Buddha, produced using a stunning piercing technique. Normally, pagodas are built in the open air, in temple courtyards, or on high mountains. But in the Yungang Grottoes, they stand in semi-enclosed spaces. Clearly, the intention of the designers was to introduce something fine and beautiful into the grottos. The fact is, a large temple used to stand nearby the Yungang Grottoes. Therefore, the corresponding pagodas were essential. Over the centuries, however, the temple disappeared. Instead, pagodas were erected inside the grottos as a way of maintaining the Buddha's presence. They also served another purpose. Although the domed ceiling could bear a great weight, its capacity was still limited. The designers realized that if the weight it had to bear grew too great, there was no